Okay, let's see here. It's not gonna let me do this on this other screen, so. What? Oh, it fit you good, huh? Close the door, please. Okay, let me see here. Alright, let's kind of get a game plan going for this week. Let's see here. That short of open was the ticket today, or tonight, guys. You know, we talked about that level, I think even last week, how important that level was going to be. This level here, we rejected it basically to a literal tick. I mean, they went right to the very, very top of it and rejected it nicely. And that's the thing that I warn you guys about. Even if you gap up, but if you gap up to a key level, that doesn't, gap up normally bullish. But if you gap up to a really strong resistance area, or vice versa, a support area, just because you gap up doesn't mean you want to automatically look for a long, or in this case a long, right? Got to keep in mind where you gap up to. So yeah, that level there was absolutely, an absolute banger. Short there. They're coming in heavy right now with selling. And this is essentially our range, you guys. Okay, for this week, right, coming up for this week, something we need to keep in mind is this level. If they can break it and hold it, notice how they've tried to make it support a couple of times, right? So if they can break this level at any point this week, ideally, they can build some value, get above this 67.32 area, pull back, right? Now that we've got previous week value area high, previous week POC, and previous month POC, all in this general area here, if they can do something where they break this and actually build some sort of value, not just a peak above, this is going to be a good long area to look for them to go and hit, obviously, our next target. And if they can reclaim this area, then that opens the door up to new all-time highs, which the extension for these all-time high levels are going to be 817 and then 845. These still remain there because they're still valid. But we need two things to happen first. They need to reclaim this, okay, trade throughout here a little bit, break this high, look for a pullback into this area, and then we'd be looking to obviously target these highs and this extension here, right? At some point this week, if, right, this is, a bullish case scenario, if they can accomplish breaking this high and breaking this high, okay? That would mean they're accepting value back inside of this general area right here. As of now, though, right, every time we come into this area here, we're getting rejected, okay? So just keep playing, what's presented here in front of us. Let me see here. Previous month POC and previous day POC are all right there. They flushed it and they immediately reversed it here. Seems like they're trying to protect the price from going lower as of now anyways. Let's see here. Yeah, essentially we've got just a pretty crazy balance. Again, I don't want to include this guy here because it's going to skew it. But for the most part, you know, we're trading within this area here right now, as of now. Okay, as of now, this basically is the range that we're stuck in between. We've peaked below it a couple of times, and every time they bought it up and sent it back into this area. Same thing here. We peaked below it and they immediately reversed it. Took it back again. And then here we peaked above it a couple of times and reversed it again. Right? So it seems to me they can't agree where they want to go from here. They can't decide, honestly. Right? And if you look at the you know, the strength here, I want to say, you know, when we sell off, it seems to be a little bit more aggressive than when we find buyers, right? We're getting some choppiness here. A couple of times they've shown some strength at the bottom, but for the most part, it's kind of melting up and taking the elevator down. But yeah, they cannot decide what they want to do. This is the overall range, though, guys. So don't get it confused, right? If you guys are having issues with this, you know, draw this out on your chart here. That way you can visually see the range that we are in. Okay. I mean, this short here, guys, was an absolute no-brainer short. Hopefully at least one of you guys took that. But yeah, we are just in a range. I mean, that's pretty much, you know, they're waiting on that, I guess, that China tariff stuff to get worked out, or some tweet to come out, something. Okay, here. Yeah, look, this is where they came to here right now on this sell-off. It came right to there. So if they lose this bottom tonight or tomorrow at any point, that's going to open up the door to come and test these guys here at previous day value area low, previous week value area low. This is where we would ultimately run to. If they lose this low, this is where we're going to come to. Whether that be tomorrow, tonight, after tomorrow, this is going to be the area that they're going to hit. Once they lose this guy right here, you got to take him out. Okay. Let's see. This week they built value lower here. And built a ton of value here. this is going to be a key level too. You know, if they lose this guy here, especially losing this guy, that's going to be pretty bearish. They are losing value. They shifted value down here. But again, you can see right here, this area is pretty significant, and they keep holding it. The same thing. So it's a little confusing, guys, to be honest with you. You know, a lot of newer people are definitely going to struggle. Where are we trading at right now? 67.12. Take to here, 67.12. Okay. Yeah, you got extension on both ends, pretty much. Again, contradicting here. You've got extension here. You've got extension here. Same thing. This seems pretty aggressive here, right? But they made it within last week's profile also, right here. So, you know, I would say if at any point this week we lose this guy here, this is going to send us down to the 65.20 if we can lose that at any point this coming up week. The close yesterday was, Friday was pretty bullish. Overall close here. This is overall looking like it is forming a bear flag here. Yeah. So this adds to the case here, the bullish case. If they can break this level here, they are, sorry I said bear flag, bull flag. It's forming a bull flag, not a bear flag, sorry guys. So if they can take this level out here, and then break this bear flag, I would say very high chance we're going to go and hit, this 645, 650 area for sure. This becomes pretty imminent. But again, they've got to break this level here first. I'd like them to break it, maybe hit this previous day POC, give you the pullback, see if we can identify some aggressive buying going on footprints, anything like that. Maybe a low volume node, something like that around here when and if they break this. That's going to be, again, a good long because they are bull flagging here, guys. So, bull flags, I don't, you don't see me talk about them very often, but they are something to pay attention to. And when I see them, especially on a higher time frame, I do like to pay attention to them. So this is looking like either or can happen. It depends on what they do tonight. Where we open up tomorrow is going to be telling. As of now, this area here is resistance, but they have tested it so many times now that it's looking like they are starting to want to break it. But again, we actually need them to do that first before we become bullish, right? We need them to actually take it out. If they don't, then this is going to come back down to here right now. It's going to come back down to here. Maybe they do something like this tonight or tomorrow, right? But yeah, that's pretty much it. I mean, I wish I could give you guys a more clear direction. But that's it, guys. I mean, essentially, we're in a range. We need to keep playing the range until the range fails. It's pretty much that simple. Once the range goes in, we'll trade in that direction. But as of now, this is going to be resistance. And, again, if I had to place a bet, right, the bet is that we're going to go back down to ultimately here first and then here second. Any questions, anybody? I think nobody has any questions. I think that's going to be it for me. I will post this on YouTube. And again, guys, these are things to keep in mind for this coming up week also, right? This here, we can go here at least. And, if they lose this guy, I do think, right here, they've tried to defend this pretty aggressively here, right? So if they lose this guy here at any point to 6638 level, I do expect us to go back and test, right around here one more time. If they lose that, then we're off to the races down to 6520. But first, ideally, before that happens, I would like them to take these guys completely out here. Right? If they can take these guys out and then give you a pullback back into this area here. Right, we've got a zone there, and then we've got that previous month value area low right there. That's going to be a good short. Again, targeting the 6520, 649. But again, we need them to actually take these guys out before that because they could come in and do what they did here. Friday was kind of tricky, right? Caught a really nice short to here. And, that's why I was warning you guys. BB I was telling her to trim most of the position when we got to this level. Because this was a level that we had as that buy zone, right? We took that long at open, targeting that upper level. I've since raced it, but we were targeting this zone we had right around here. And we started to see those limit sellers around here. They were absorbing big time, and they did give a nice move down. And it looked like they were going to break it. And if I'm not mistaken, they gave a poor low. Yeah, they gave a poor low here. And they even extended lower. That's the crazy part about it. They extended lower. They extended lower here. They took out a period. they took out initial balance low, and they bought it up. I was not expecting them to do that because that's unusual, but I did have, I don't know, a feeling or suspicion that they might pull something like that. And that's why I told her, if you go back and look at the chat, I'm not sure if I told her in the chat or I know I told her when we were live trading. I don't know. I also told her in the chat, but this area here was going to give us a problem, right? Because this was our zone that we had already, from which we were looking to take longs from. But yeah, that was definitely unusual, right? For them to give you, excess here at one of the zones that we had, and then they go and they break a period low. They start framing down nicely, and within that same period, they come here and immediately they squeezed everybody. I mean, I bet you a ton of people got squeezed here. Because I was not expecting them to do. Again, I was suspicious of it, but it is definitely unusual. Then they gave you an outside period, and you know how we play outside periods. Usually, the way we break is the way we're going to auction. So here we had an outside period, meaning that this period here, E period, was outside of D period, right? So we had an outside period, right? The extremes are outside of this guy, and ultimately they broke E period high, and auctioned it higher, right? And this was the guy that broke it here. So, any questions, anybody, before we get off of here? No? Okay. I'll be on tomorrow morning, see if we can catch a trade. Again, guys, just to reiterate for tonight, I want you guys to make sure, if this is resistance, right? This is the top of the range, plus this is the zone that we have here. So just to make sure everybody's on the same page here. If they lose this level here, that should open the door to come down really to this 669, 659 area. Okay. I will see you guys tomorrow morning, and I will post this on YouTube for everybody to go back and, if you guys want to rewatch it, to kind of get some levels, some ideas. Have a good night, everybody.